When my daughter Lily turned 6, she started talking to someone named Mara. At first, it was cute. Kids invent imaginary friends. It's what they do. But the first time Lily told me that Mara doesn't like the cold part of the house, I felt a small shiver. Not from fear, just instinct. Because the cold part she meant was our basement, where the furnace had been acting up. No one had told her that. We'd just moved into the old Daniels house on Birchwood Lane. It had charm, wood floors, big windows, the sort of place that looks friendly in daylight and a little lonely at night. My wife, Claire, was pregnant again, so most evenings were quiet. Lily would sit cross-legged in a room, whispering into the corner. Sometimes she'd pause, listen, and nod as if someone was answering back. One night, I heard her giggling. I peeked in and asked, "Who's the joke for?" She said, "Mara said you shouldn't drink the milk in the fridge." I frowned. The milk had expired that morning. I hadn't noticed yet. Coincidence, sure. But it was the first time Mara seemed to know something Lily couldn't. Weeks passed. Lily started setting an extra cup at the breakfast table. She'd tell us not to sit there. That's Mara's seat. Claire and I played along, until one evening, Lily came running down the stairs, white-faced. She said, "Mara says there's a man in the garden." I grabbed the flashlight, heart pounding, but found nothing except footprints, muddy, adult-sized, leading up to the window and back toward the woods. That night, we double-checked the locks. I didn't tell Claire about the footprints.
The things she shouldn't know. A few nights later, Lily woke crying from a nightmare. When I asked what was wrong, she whispered, "Mara said Mommy's baby is a boy, but he won't cry right away, so don't be scared." I froze. Claire was only 4 months pregnant. We hadn't even done an ultrasound. Still, a few months later, we learned she was right. It was a boy. And when our son was born, for a terrifying 30 seconds after delivery, he didn't cry. Then he did, exactly like Lily said. That was the moment I stopped calling it imagination. The voice in the baby monitor. After we brought the baby home, Lily's moods changed. She became quiet, pale. She stopped sleeping in her room, saying Mara didn't like the other baby. One night, through the baby monitor, I heard 2 voices. One was my son's soft breathing. The other was Lily's whisper. She was saying, "Stop it, Mara. You're scaring him." When I ran upstairs, Lily was standing in the nursery doorway, staring at the crib. Her lips were trembling. "She says you have to leave, Daddy," she's murmured. "You're making her angry." I tried to comfort her, but she screamed like she didn't recognize me. Searching for answers. The next day, I called Dr. Finch, a child psychologist. She told us imaginary friends can seem vivid when kids are under stress. New baby, new house, new routines. Still, she agreed to meet Lily. During the first session, Finch asked Lily to draw Mara. Lily drew a woman with long hair covering half her face and dark shapes around her hands. When Finch asked how old Mara was, Lily said 32. She died in the snow. That night, I searched the town archives just to prove to myself that it was nonsense. But in an article from 25 years ago, I found it.
Local woman, Mara Daniels, found frozen near Birchwood Lane after a winter storm. Survived by her infant daughter, never identified. The surname stopped me cold. Daniels, the same as the couple who'd owned this house before it stood empty. The cold room. I decided to go into the basement, the cold part. The air smelled like rust and old dirt. Behind the water heater, hidden by stacked boards, I found a small wooden trunk. Inside, baby clothes, a locket, and a photo of a woman holding an infant. Written on the back, Mara and Rose, 1998. Rose. I remembered the real estate agent's paperwork. Previous owner's daughter, Rose Daniels, sold the property after her mother's death. And the child in that photo had Lily's eyes. The night everything changed. That evening, Lily started screaming before bedtime. "Mara says you opened her box. She says you weren't supposed to." The lights flickered. Every hair on my neck stood up. Claire rushed in, clutching the baby, shouting, "What's happening?" The nursery door slammed shut on its own. The candle on Lily's nightstand flared high and went out. Then Lily's voice changed, lower, almost like two people speaking at once. She wants her baby back. I grabbed Lily, holding her tight. "You're safe. She's gone." Lily's body went limp for a moment, then she gasped and started sobbing. "Daddy, make her stop."
The discovery. We left the house that night and stayed with my brother. The next morning, police and a pastor searched the basement. They found the trunk, and beneath it, hidden under a loose patch of concrete floor, they discovered small bones wrapped in an old blanket. DNA tests confirmed they were from an infant girl, deceased around the same time Mara Daniels died in the storm. The theory: she'd tried to flee an abusive partner, hid in the basement with her baby, and never made it out. After that, the house was sealed as a historical site. We moved across town. For months, Lily refused to talk about Mara. Eventually, the nightmares faded. She played, laughed, started school. Then one morning, I found a drawing taped to her door. Just a simple picture of our family. But in the background, near the edge, was a faint outline of another woman, smiling, holding a baby. Underneath, in Lily's careful handwriting, she'd written, "Mara and Rose are together now." I stared at it for a long time, wondering if she meant herself. Because Lily's middle name, the one Claire chose before we ever knew about the house, is Rose. Some people say children invent imaginary friends to fill the silence. But sometimes, they're just finishing a story someone else never got to end.